Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and this is currently my Newcastle versus Manchester United preview Wednesday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, as I currently said. So potentially it's been a great start for Manchester United under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. 3 wins out of 3, 12 goals scored in the current process, and I've got a stat to tell you that potentially Solskjaer is the first man in Premier League history to get Solskjaer is the first manager in Premier League history to get his team to score 10 plus goals in his first 3 games. So that is he's the first manager in Premier League history to do that. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I currently said, for the Newcastle game, I think Sanchez will be in contention. It's good news that Sanchez, will be able to try and prove himself and prove his consistency against Newcastle on the 2nd of January, as we all know. But potentially, yeah, good winner yesterday against Bournemouth, as we all know. 4 goals to 1, as we all know. And Pogba's like 2 players in one, as I currently said. I think there's still areas where Manchester United, do need to improve. These areas that we do need to address. I think, we still need a centre defensive midfielder that's tenacious and that's fast. Potentially, I still think we maybe need a strong right back. I put the lot in there for Ashley Young. I think potentially Rashford is definitely a number 9. I think he's a number 9, Rashford. I think Martial's a winger on the left. I think he can play on left hand side. Rashford can play as a number 9, as we all currently know. But there's still certain areas in the Manchester United team that do actually need addressing, because people still say that we do need a central, as we all currently know. But 12 goals in 3 games, 3 wins out of 3 for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And as I said, a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see him get the job on a full-time basis. I'd love to see him get the job on a full-time basis, because I think he's going to do very good. He's got that winning mentality at the club, and the right mentality is in the team, and he's got the team playing the United way. The way that we used to play under Alex Ferguson. Very good to see. I think the team are expressing themselves. They're working hard as a team. They're getting runs in behind, creating chances, something we didn't do under Jose Mourinho. And as I said, I'm glad we got rid of Jose Mourinho. He was the problem at the club. This is why we were so bad, because he didn't get on with the board. He didn't get on with the players. As we all know, his tactics were on, his team selection were on. We know what he's done in the past. We know that he's won titles everywhere he's been, but too bothered about that now. We've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he knows the club, he knows the culture of the club, he knows the club inside out, as we all know. And he's worked with some of these players in the Manchester United reserve team, as we all know, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I said, it was a great performance. It's been 3 great performances. Bournemouth game was very good yesterday. Pogba's now scored. He scored 4 goals in 2 games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 4 goals in 2 games. He also got an assist yesterday. He got 2 goals against Huddersfield, as I said. He got 2 or 3 assists against Cardiff as well. So he's delivering. He's scoring goals, and he's proven himself the best. Is Paul Pogba, and he deserved the man of the match yesterday. I think Pogba is mainly number 10. You can put him in midfield. You can put him as attacking mid. You can put him in a free role, but he actually played as a number 10 yesterday. And I think Pogba suits that position very well. The number 10 position, to be quite honest with you, because he's like 2 players in one when he's on form. And Solskjaer's getting the best out of these players, and Paul Pogba was absolutely fantastic yesterday against Bournemouth. As I said, his second goal was absolutely phenomenal. It was a great delivery from Ander Herrera, and then Pogba was there to add it in, and that made it 2-0. But the first goal was very good. But I'll tell you what, the play from Rashford, the build-up play, and the Rashford, how he got past them 2 Bournemouth players, was absolutely unbelievable, as I said. But lovely delivery, and Pogba finished it. The third goal was very good for Marcus Rashford as well. That was a lovely inviting crosser from Antonio Martial, and Rashford had got his head on it, and that made it 3-0. It is a shame that we did concede in the game. Bournemouth did get one back. To be fair, it was quite a good goal, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, there's nothing we could do about that, to be quite honest with you. But we look very energetic. We look organised. We look motivated. We're getting bodies in decent positions. Getting fullbacks high up the pitch, as we all currently know. That's something else we didn't do under Jose Mourinho. I think Matic is playing really well. Obviously, it was a shame that we didn't see Fred and Doyle feature in the game. They could potentially be involved in the Newcastle game, could Fred and Doyle, to be quite honest with you. But I would put Doyle at right back instead of Ashley Young, to be quite fair. But I think Lindelof's fine. I think, Lindelof's fine. I think Shaw's fine. De Gea's fine, as we all know. But it's just a shame in the game that we had to see Eric Bailly get sent off in the game. So Eric Bailly was sent off. So is he going to get a 2-3 match suspension or something like that? But it was a shame, as we all know. But as Solskjaer said, everyone's going to get the chance. He was discussing about rotating, but he said everyone's going to get the chance. I think the youth are going to grow and develop under Solskjaer very, very well. And I honestly think, this team's going to flip. Solskjaer were good, that he brought substitutions on in the second half against Bournemouth, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He brought Andrews Pereira on, he brought Jones on, and he brought Lukaku on. It was good to see, Lukaku get his name on the score sheet. It was a simple goal from Lukaku, but it was a good inviting pass, from Paul Pogba, and Lukaku had made it forward. And I thought he made an impact when he came on Romelu Lukaku, to be quite honest with you. But I think, I know he's number 9, but I think Rashford's mainly our number 9, to be quite honest with you. I still think we need a backup striker. I still really do think we need a backup striker to Lukaku, because everyone has concerns about Lukaku, about his first touch, and, he's a big game bottle and stuff. But who knows? I think he may prove consistent under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I still think there's certain areas where we need to address, the centre defensive midfield role, because potentially, we've got Matic and Fellaini who are slow. They don't have much tempo to the play, and we have reservations about them. So I think potentially we do need a centre defensive midfielder. We maybe need a right back. But these certain areas still on the pitch, we need a backup striker as well. So these still areas in the pitch where we do need strengthening. But apart from that, very, very good. The team are playing very, very well. They're expressing themselves, as we all currently know. And it's very, very good to see, as we all know. So 3 wins out of 3 now. 12 goals scored. We wouldn't have done this under Jose Mourinho, as we all currently know. And only 3 goals scored in 3 games. But yeah, we are still conceding goals, as we all know. But as I said, the board are backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ed Woodward's backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Reportedly, it's January tomorrow, so the January transfer window opens. Whether he gets a couple of players in, I do not know. Reportedly, the board had sanctioned Ole Gunnar Solskjaer getting any permanent deals off. They don't think they need any permanent deals, maybe. As I currently said, he may get a couple of players on loan. I don't know, he may get some players in. He may not get some players in, as I said. But Pogba's been playing really, really well. Rashford's been very, very influential. He got a goal and got an assist yesterday as well. Good young age talent. He's been a Manchester United player. He's a Manchester lad, born and bred, but he's been a Manchester United player, since the age of 7. He's progressing up the ranks fantastically well. Very, very fluid in attack. He shows a lot of fluidity. He's passionate, as we all know. And same with Antonio Martial, as I said. He's very, very good, and I think he'll grow and develop under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. And I think a lot of players will flourish under Solskjaer because he knows what he's doing, as we all know. And the instructions he has demanded out to them players have gone out and done that, which is very, very good indeed. I know he's had managerial experience with Solskjaer. Didn't do good with Cardiff. He had a bad defensive record there. He had a bad defensive record with Mould, even though he did win 2 Norwegian titles with Mould. I think he's going to do well with Manchester United because he knows the culture of the club, he knows the traditions of the club, as we all currently know. But we look so all different. Manchester United team look energetic, we look organised, we look passionate, passing the ball around very, very well, making decent runs, getting runs in behind, as we all know. We look really, really good on the counter attack as well. Defensively, I think we've slightly improved, to be quite honest with you. But I think the whole team's just dramatically improved. We look sharper, we look quicker on the ball. As I said, we look more energetic. It's just really, really good to see, as I currently said. And Solskjaer does like the attacking philosophy. He likes the attacking philosophy, he likes the width as well. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as he did say, Fred, I think he needs more game time to get to his potential level, as we all know. Bay's going to get more game time. We know that he's currently obviously suspended now with the sending off. Mata's going to get more game time from the start, even though he didn't start yesterday. But yeah, they're all going to get a chance. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's already confirmed this, as we all know. But I think Sanchez is going to get the chance to prove himself against Newcastle. It was a shame that he didn't start against Bournemouth because his fit regime looks very, very good, to be quite fair. So it is actually a shame that Sanchez didn't start against Bournemouth. But I think he's going to be in contention for Newcastle. So I think he may flourish now under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he may really get in the mix, and he may start playing now, Alexis Sanchez, because he's failed to develop himself this season. He's lacked development this season as Alexis Sanchez. But as I said, Solskjaer's still got to think about contract renewals, as we all know, his lineups and his tactics and that. Every game, maybe getting some players in this upcoming January window. As we all know. But as I said, guys, I still think, we've still got, obviously, Smalling's out until mid-January. I think Rojo's still out. He did actually say Rashford had suffered a slight groin injury. It's just said online, Rashford's Rashford suffered a slight groin injury as well. Scott McTominay wears out as well, and yeah, but this is obviously the build up to the Newcastle versus Manchester United game. So as I said, guys, we've still got a couple of injuries. As I said, there's still players that could leave Manchester United. I don't see how Fellaini fits in this new regime at Manchester United. To be quite honest with you, reportedly Fenerbahce reportedly have opened up negotiations regarding Marian Fellaini. I think Fellaini will leave. To be quite honest with you, he's been here since 2013. We paid £27 million for him. We got him under the David Moyes era, but as I said, I think he'll probably leave I think he'll leave, to be quite honest with you, Will Fellaini. I think Darmian will leave. There's been a few Italian teams interested in Matteo Darmian as well. I don't see how he fits in the team now. And there's been a few Italian teams interested in him, as I said. He's coming to an end of his current contract, is Matteo Darmian as well. So potentially I think he may leave. I think Lukaku may stay, potentially if he proves very, very consistent under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it was good to see him score yesterday, come off the bench and get a goal, because he has been lacking form this season. He's been lacking consistency. He was injured early on this season. He hasn't been scoring goals this season and leading lines, but he may prove different under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it was good to see him get his name on the score sheet. And there's just an improvement in the whole level. We're just playing at a much, much higher level. And my expectations 2018-19 is to get Man United to that higher level, and I want Solskjaer to graduate us to that higher level and elevate us to that higher level, and to somehow get us back competing and challenging for major honours, as we all currently know, because we know, as I said, a lot of money has been invested in the Manchester United team, as we all know. Because we know a lot of money has been invested in the Manchester United team. 400 odd million over Mourinho, about 800 odd million since Ferguson retired. We know we've seen players come in. We know we've seen players go as well, but this team I think is going to become under Solskjaer a replica of what the team did and achieved under Alex Ferguson. To be quite honest with you, but as I said, Lukaku, as I said, he's been struggling with consistency this season, but as I said, it was good to see him get his name on the score sheet as well, and I think he may prove to be consistent under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all currently know. I think Matic could prove to be consistent under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all currently know as well. So I think, yeah, this team's totally different. This team is totally different. They're playing with heart, they're playing with desire. And it's just a total change in the team, as we all know. We're quicker, we're sharper on the ball, we're faster, as we all currently know. What's happening with the e-cig here? There's also been a lot of tenacity about us play as well. So it's been very, very good to see in these 3 games, of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And all the performances have been very, very good indeed. And every player has played very, very well for Manchester United, as we all know. He did make 4 changes, in the Bournemouth game, as we all currently know. But as I said, there's players going to end of the contracts, and I still think, there's players at Manchester United that don't actually have a future at Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But yeah, we'll go into the Manchester United Newcastle game right now. We'll go into Man United Newcastle game now. It's St James's Park, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. So we are looking for 4 wins out of 4 now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We did actually lose at Newcastle last season by 1-0. To be quite honest, we lost there last season, didn't we? 1-0. Newcastle beat us 1-0. Newcastle have not beaten us in back-to-back home league back-to-back home league games since 1987. We've only lost one of our last 8 league games against Newcastle, to be quite honest with you, and that one was actually back in February last season. We did lose 1-0, as I've just said, but potentially, obviously, Newcastle are doing very, very poor this season. They're a very, very poor team. They've lost 7 out of the 10 home games this season, Newcastle. But potentially, they've got Rafa Benitez, and actually Rafa Benitez has won his last 4. Rafa Benitez has won his last 4. He's won his last 4 home games as a Rafa Benitez against England. No, sorry, what's the stat now? I think it said that Rafa Benitez has won his last 4 games, his 4 home games as English manager. It said against Manchester United, English club manager against Manchester United. So I think this is twice twice with Liverpool, once with Chelsea, and once with Newcastle last season. So what he said is he's won his last 4 home games as Rafa Benitez, when he's managed with English clubs against Man United. So potentially, that's what it had currently said. But as I said, potentially Man United should definitely win this game. Newcastle are poor. They're sitting 15th in the Premier League this season. They've out of 20 games they've won. They've only won 4, they've drawn 6, and they've lost 10 of Newcastle as well. So potentially you would think it would be a Man United win. We did beat them earlier on in the season at Old Trafford by 3 goals to 2, as we all currently know. So potentially it should be an easier Manchester United win, as he currently said. But as I said, Rafa Benitez has proven to be a good manager, and I think he's got a pretty decent pedigree. He has won silverware wherever he's been. He's the only manager actually in history. He's only the manager in history. He's Rafa Benitez. To win the Europa League, to win the Champions League, to win the Super Cup, and to win the FIFA Club World Cup as well. And he's now at Newcastle. He won the Championship with Newcastle in 2016-17, and he had a pretty decent tenure. With Liverpool, he won the FA Cup, the Champions League with Liverpool, the Community Shield, and the Super Cup with Liverpool. So he won the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Super Cup, and the Community Shield with Liverpool as well. When he was at Valencia, he managed them. He won the La Liga and UEFA Cup with Valencia as well. I think he won the FIFA Club World Cup when he managed Inter Milan, did Rafa Benitez as well. He also actually won the Europa League with Chelsea as well. So he's managed Real Madrid as well. So Rafa Benitez has managed quite a few teams, as we all currently know. But I think it's going to be an easy Manchester United winner, to be quite honest with you. My prediction is going to be about 3-1 or 4-1 to Man United, because Newcastle are a very poor team, as we all know. They have got problems. I think they've got a few injury problems as well of Newcastle. I don't know if Rashford's going to be fully fit for Newcastle, because it's saying he's suffered a slight groin injury or something like that, as I've just said. But as I said, the team look more better under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As I said, look a lot more confident, look better on the ball. As we all know, we're creating chances. And, every time we lose the ball, we just have that urgency and that determination to win the ball back, as we all know. We look better in the attacking third of the pitch, as we all currently know. And it's great to see, the positivity's back at Man United. The fans are happy, the players are happy, as we all know. And Solskjaer knows about the club, because, as I said, he was a great player from 1996 to 2007 under Alex Ferguson. He won 6 Premier Leagues, as we all currently know. And he scored 126 goals in 366 appearances for Manchester United, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all currently know. And we're getting a glimpse now of the Ferguson days. He wants to play the United way. We are playing the United way. We're expressing ourselves, as we all know. And Solskjaer did say he'd like the job on a full-time basis. He did admit this, as we all know. And who's to say he won't get the job on a full-time basis if this carries on? Who's to say they won't give him the contract? As I said, they may given the clear, but as I said, the club are still recruiting to get a full-time manager in at the end of the season, as we all know, such as Pochettino or Zinedine Zidane. I think it will be Zinedine Zidane who comes in if Solskjaer doesn't get the job on a full-time basis, because I think, we know that they've been all saying that Pochettino is going to be the favourite. He's the number one favourite. Zinedine Zidane's been mentioned as well, because reportedly said in the press the other day that reportedly he met up with one of the Man United ambassadors, which was Mikhail Silvestre. Which was Mikhail Silvestre. He was a great player for 9 years. He won 4 Premier Leagues, he won the League Cup, won the FA Cup, won the Champions League. So reportedly Zinedine Zidane had actually met up with him, the Man United ambassador Silvestre, one of the ambassadors, in Dubai, reportedly, and that stirs up suggestions a little bit, but I think they should give it to Solskjaer, the job, to be quite honest with you. But as I said, Zinedine Zidane has been mentioned. He's got a great managerial CV. He's got a great pedigree, as we all know, Zinedine Zidane. But he's never managed or played in the Premier League, as we all know, Zinedine Zidane. But he's got a great CV. He's been managerless since May, and I think he did say, Zinedine Zidane, he's destined to come and manage in the Premier League. He was good as a player, good as a manager. He won 3 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid and stuff like that, and he had a lot of good players. But we know since he's left Real Madrid have had problems themselves. And since Ronaldo's left, Real Madrid, of course, have had problems. But as I said, he's been in discussions with his representatives, Zinedine Zidane, about potentially coming to manage in the Premier League, as we all know, which he's never done. But I think if Solskjaer wasn't to get the job, I think Zinedine Zidane probably would get it. We know that we know there's been a few other names mentioned, and we know that Mauricio Pochettino has been mentioned, but he is Premier League proven. He hasn't won out in terms of silverware as a manager. But as I said, I don't think he'd come to Man United anywhere, because we all know Man United are aware that it would cost the club about £40 million at the end of the season to recommend him in. And we could use that money probably to get we could get a signing with that £40 million that we would potentially pay for Pochettino. But I think Pochettino's actually happy at Tottenham. I think he's fully committed at Tottenham. I think he's really, really happy at Tottenham, to be quite honest with you. He's Mauricio Pochettino. I don't think he's got any intentions of leaving Tottenham, to be quite honest with you, because he's happy with Tottenham. He's already spent £50 million with Tottenham, since 2014. I think he understands the Premier League well, because he's well League proven. He's highly experienced in the Premier League, and potentially, some people say he'd have the willpower here, he'd have the money to spend at Manchester United. As I said, he's been managing since 2009. He's won over 100 games now as Tottenham Hotspur manager, as Mauricio Pochettino. And obviously, he was playing, he played 18 years in his playing career as well. And he has got a 5-year deal at the Hotspur, don't forget, as Mauricio Pochettino. But as I said, I don't think he'll come in because potentially I just don't think he's got any intention of leaving. But I'd love Solskjaer to get the job on a full-time basis, because he knows about the club. And I think he can elevate this club forward, as we all know, because we've had 5 years of torture, really, to be quite honest with you. We've had 5 bad years, since Ferguson retired after 7 years of success. He won 38 trophies, including 13 league titles, as we all know. And since then, he was, when we had Ferg, we were playing well. We're playing attacking football, bossing the transfer markets, as we all know. But things are going to turn around now under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. His managerial style suits the club. He suits the strappings of the club. And he's happy here, he's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's really, really happy, as we all know. And he's getting the best out of the players. The players are getting the best out of him. Pogba's one of the best players at the moment, to quite honest. As I said, when he's playing in that vein and when he's playing like that, and like Pogba said, the style of play is totally different now at Manchester United, as we all know. It's the manner how we're playing. It's the way we are playing. It's the manner how we are getting these results. It's just the manner of it. Everyone said we did get results under Mourinho, yeah, but it's just the manner and what we're showing out there on that pitch. That's very, very good to see as well. But I think Solskjaer should get the job on a full-time basis. To be quite honest with you. Zinedine Zidane is another option if Solskjaer doesn't get the job on a full-time basis, and even Pochettino is an option. But I don't think Pochettino coming anywhere, because I think he's happy at Tottenham. He thinks he can elevate Tottenham to the higher level. He's got a good squad in that Tottenham team. He's got a lot. He's good at developing young players as well as Mauricio Pochettino. To be quite honest with you. But as I said, I think Solskjaer deserves the job. To be quite honest with you. On a full-time basis. That's just my opinion. Everyone may have a different opinion, to be quite honest. But I'd love Solskjaer to come in. People may say it's a bit early, but look at this: 3 wins out of 3. He's got the players playing absolutely great football, playing 1-touch, 2-touch, getting in the pockets, as we all know. And I think the players are going to grow and develop under him. He's giving the youth a chance, as we all know. He said he's going to start Mason Greenwood against Reading. He's going to make his senior debut, because Mason Greenwood's been playing very, very well for the reserves. People still may say we need a central defender. Well, Lindelof's played well this season. He's like 2 defenders in one when he's playing well. Bay's got great potential, even though we know that he's currently suspended, which is a shame to see, as we all know. But there's still improvements needed in the squad. I still do think. Do you think that's a title-winning team? Sorry guys about that. Do you think that's a title-winning team? Probably not, because there's still certain areas that Manchester United need to invest into and need to address. I think we definitely need a centre defensive midfielder that's tenacious and that can move the ball quick and that is fast overall. I think we still need a backup striker. Maybe need a right back, but I'd put the lot in there anywhere for Ashley Young. Mourinho's still, Solskjaer's confirmed that Solskjaer obviously is going to remain the captain. I'd give the captain's armband to Paul Pogba. If I was only going to Solskjaer, I would definitely give it to Paul Pogba. To be quite honest with you. But he said Valencia is going to remain with the captain's armband. This is what he currently said. But as I said, we know that basically, I think Man United are going to win against Newcastle on Wednesday. We now know at the moment we're 19 points behind top. We're still 8 points behind top 4. That's our achievement this season, to try and get us into the top 4, as we all know. We're only 3 points behind Arsenal now. To be quite honest, we are only 3 points behind Arsenal. But as I said, Going into Newcastle, I think Man United are going to win comfortably. To be quite honest, we're in great form. Newcastle are a poor team, to be quite honest with you. As I said, they're sitting 15th in the league. They did beat us there back in February. Last season they did beat us in February at St James's Park, but we've only lost one of our last 8 league games against Newcastle, and you haven't won back-to-back home games, Newcastle, against us since 1987. So potentially that's a stat to look, to tell you about. And they've lost 7 of their last 10 home league games this season of Newcastle as well. But as I did say, Rafa Benitez has won his last 4 with English clubs against Manchester United. That were twice with Liverpool, as I said, once with Chelsea. And with Newcastle last season, of course, Rafa Benitez, he won the championship with Newcastle, didn't he, in 2016-17 as well. So he has won quite a few honours. He has won the Champions League with Liverpool. He's won the Europa League with Chelsea when he was managing there. So he has won silverware where he's been, as Rafa Benitez as well. Newcastle probably this season, be fighting relegation, as we all currently know. But yes, it has. He will probably make a couple of changes in the Newcastle game. I think he may bring Fred and Dalot in the Newcastle game. Sanchez probably will be definitely featuring in the Newcastle game, as obviously Solskjaer confirmed. It looked like it was in contention. He was going to start against Bournemouth, but it didn't happen, so it was a shame. I think he could start Lukaku in the Newcastle game as well, so I think he will rotate a bit. He may start Mata in the Newcastle game as well, so I think he'll rotate a bit, but as he said, he's going to give everybody the chance. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know, but we are still linked with a couple of players. We know that Toby Alderweireld's been mentioned. We know that Koulibaly's been mentioned as well. But as I said, Koulibaly, good player, adapts every area of his game very well. And I think he'd fit our back line very well, would Koulibaly, to be quite honest with you. Because he's got a lot of pace about his game. He's good in the air. And reportedly he suffered racial abuse. And reportedly, somewhere along the line, Napoli had reportedly reduced their asking price for the player because Napoli rated him around £9 million. Man United in the process have had 3 bids turned down, reportedly, for Koulibaly, reportedly. He's under contract with Napoli till 2023, as we all know, and he's got a lot of tenacity about his play, as we all know, as Koulibaly. But he's a great player, and I think he'd be a good leader in our back line. But I don't think we'll actually make any signs in January. Do we need any signings in January? Well, any permanent deals, as we all know. But Koulibaly's a great central defender. He's done very well with Napoli. Napoli paid £7 million for him from Genk, as we all know. He's been a full international since 2015, as Koulibaly. But yeah, Ed Woodward had been in negotiations with the Napoli officials about Man United getting a deal over the line for the player, but he's a very good, strong central defender. He's good in the air. He's technically very good. He's physically very strong as well. And he'd dramatically improve our back line. But as I said, we've got a lot of options at our back line anyway. We've got Rojo. I know he's injured at the moment, but he's good there as a backup, Rojo. You can play him as left wing back. You can play him as centre back. You can play him as a full back as well. You've got Phil Jones. When he does get them run of games, he can play very well. Phil Jones, as we all currently know. But we know that he's known for injuries. But now, as Eric Bailly is suspended, I think in the Newcastle game he'll probably put Lindelof. He'll put Lindelof and he's got a Bay. Well, who's he going to put a centre back? It's going to be well, if Bailly's suspended, if Chris Smalling's injured, it's got to be Phil Jones, hasn't it? Must be Phil Jones. So I think he's going to put Phil Jones alongside Victor Lindelof in the Newcastle game because with Rojo was injured, unless he recovers from injury. Rojo's injured. Who else is injured? Rojo's injured. Bay's suspended, as I've just said. So yeah, and Smalling's injured as well. So potentially, I think it will be Jones and Bailey, Jones and Lindelof centre back against Newcastle, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, Koulibaly's a great player, and he's a player that I'd love at Manchester United, because he adapts every area of his game very well. So I sound a bit like I've just woke up, and yeah, I would love him at Manchester United, to be quite fair. Same with Toby Alderweireld. I said I have reservations about him, but he knows about the Premier League. He's Premier League proven. He's Toby Alderweireld. Tottenham have confirmed they've triggered an extension on his current contract till 2020, but they've also added a 25 million release clause in his deal as well with Tottenham. But as I said, there's been no sign of him signing a new contract as yet. Toby Alderweireld, I don't think he's going to sign a new contract because I actually think he probably will leave Tottenham next summer because he's available for 25 million next summer. He has reservations about him. I think he's lost the pace a little bit, to be quite honest with you, Toby Alderweireld, but I think he'd be a good leader again in our back line with Toby Alderweireld. And Tottenham still have other options at the back. They've got Davinson Sanchez, they've got Serge Aurier at the back as well. And they've got Vertonghen at the back as well of Tottenham. But I think Vertonghen will leave next summer. He's Premier League proven. He's been in the Premier League quite a lot of years now. But Man United were in discussions last summer, but Man United didn't get a deal over the line. And so potentially we've been interested in Toby Alderweireld as well. But we've been interested in a few players. We've been interested in Real Madrid's Isco. Why he's a very, very good attacking midfielder, and I think if you put him alongside Paul Pogba, that'd be absolutely amazing. Isco's a great attacking midfielder. He's obviously out of favour under Santiago Solari at Real Madrid, and he's had, Man United have reportedly held negotiations with his current representatives about him making a move to Old Trafford. Potentially his father. Wait there a minute, I need to stretch. Potentially his father, Isco's, has potentially said his father, Isco's, basically, sorry, I'm a bit tired. Isco's father, potentially who acts like Isco's agent, Isco's demanded to his father that he wants to schedule meetings to negotiate and move away from Real Madrid because Isco feels unhappy under Real Madrid, as we all know, but he's great, he's strong, he's quick, he's got a lot of tenacity part his play, he's good in the air, he's good at driving forward, and he's a great midfielder, he's Isco, as we all know, and he's been at Real Madrid since like 2013, as we all know, he's won like 4 honours, he's won 4 Champions Leagues included, but now he's out of favour. I think he's got a deal to 2022, and reportedly he's got a 600 odd million release clause in his current contract. As he's gone, there's been a few teams monitoring him. Reportedly, he from his own perspective, he did say he did prefer the move to Paris Saint-Germain. Did Isco? This is what potentially he said, but he would be a great midfielder for us. Would Isco, if you put him alongside Pogba and the likes of Rara, he'd look very, very good. I know we've still got a couple of we've still got a midfield that's static, with a couple of players that's static in our midfield, as I said, such as Fellaini and Matic are slow and all that, and potentially, so Isco would be absolutely amazing, if we did get a deal over the line for him, to quite honestly. He's also an ex-Malaga player, he used to work under Manuel Pellegrini. He actually began his career with Valencia, rising up the ranks with Valencia as well, but he's a very, very good player. He's highly experienced. He's never played in the Premier League, but I think he'd complement our team very, very well. I think he'd do well if he came into the Premier League. Isco would be guaranteed first team football, as we all know, and he's becoming frustrated. Real Madrid is Isco, as he has admitted, but there's been a few teams wanting the interest. Chelsea have been in there with a shout for the player. There's actually been a few teams interested in Isco, to be quite honest with you. But the recent reports that have been coming out in the press is about Matt Hummels. He's a Bayern Munich defender. Reportedly, he's 30 years of age. Well, he's 30 years of age, as we all know. Reportedly, it did say Bayern Munich want around £30 million for the player. Obviously, now he's no longer a guaranteed starter with Bayern Munich. He's Matt Hummels. Reportedly, it says Chelsea have been interested in him. It also says Manchester United have also joined the race for the player as well, because his versatility is very, very good. He's got a lot of tenacity by his play. He's good in the air, and he's a player. He's sublime. He's got a passing accuracy of like 85% his last 4 seasons in the Bundesliga. He's good at passing, into the attacking third of the pitch, and he's a great central defender. He's Matt Hummels, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. When he did sign for Bayern Munich, he did sign a 5-year deal, so he must have about 4 or 3.5 years left on his current deal, Matt Hummels. But Chelsea reportedly showed an interest, but Bayern Munich made it clear that they want around £30 million for him. I think he's being injured as well as the current player. But anyway, he's no longer a guaranteed starter with Bayern Munich is the current player. But also, he actually began his career with Bayern Munich, in the youth system. He was not ranked in the youth system with them. He actually went to Borussia Dortmund on loan, and he signed for them permanently in 2009, and he was for 4 million, I think it was, and he was there a good 6 or 7 years, something like that, with Borussia Dortmund. He won 2 titles with them. He also became runners-up in 2012, 2013 Champions League as well, and he actually won other honours there as well, and potentially did very, very well. I think he made about 225 appearances, for Borussia Dortmund, did Matt Hummels, and now potentially he's at Bayern Munich now, as we all know. He's been there since 2016, of course. He's German. He's earned like 70 caps for Germany. He won the 2014 FIFA World Cup, as we all know, won also the UEFA European Championship, under 21 Championship, as we all know. But he is 30 years of age, he is highly experienced, and as I said, he's never played in the Premier League, but he would get that first team action, wherever he went, if he came to United or if he went to Chelsea. But there has been rumours about that there has been rumours about Matt Hummels, as I currently said, and he's won honours, and he's won a couple of. I think he's won about 3 or 4 titles. Is it now with Bayern Munich, or something like that? But he is a good player. But he's 30 years of age now. He's Matt Hummels. So yeah, we all know that's a report of the Chelsea. United have reportedly been interested in him as well. But as I said, there's the transfer rumours are hotting up now, as we all currently know. Rumours coming out, basically reports that Chelsea. I'm going to do a few Chelsea rumours, with you. Reportedly there was reports coming out saying that actually Chelsea have agreed a £45 million deal for Christian Pulisic. This won't be till next summer anyway, so reportedly Chelsea have been in negotiations with Borussia Dortmund over this. Reportedly, the German press are actually reporting that Chelsea and Dortmund have come to an agreement. Reportedly, personal terms have been agreed. Reportedly, a fee of around £45 million has been agreed. But Chelsea want to get him in this upcoming January transfer window. But reportedly, Borussia Dortmund are reluctant to sell. They're not willing to sell the player off in January. Borussia Dortmund, they want to keep him until the end of the season, as they have made it clear. But he will dramatically improve Chelsea. Chelsea want to get a centre forward in. They also want to make reinforcements defensively, the Chelsea as well. But it could be honestly now the favourites to go to Chelsea. Could Christian Pulisic, as we all know, and he's good. He's only 20 years of age. I think he will grow and develop very, very well. The Premier League is strong. He's quick. He's very, very good in the air. He's Christian Pulisic, as we all currently know. And I think he will be a flourish. He'll flourish if he went to Chelsea and came to the Premier League. To be quite honest with you, he is under contract with Dortmund until 2020. There has been no sign of him signing a new contract. Christian Pulisic, as we all currently know, there's been no sign of him signing a new contract. As we know, there has been no sign of it. So I think he's going to leave Borussia Dortmund. It will be next summer. Borussia Dortmund demanded that they wanted around 50-60 million, but reportedly it's coming out of the press saying that Chelsea have confirmed around a £45 million deal, summer transfer for Christian Pulisic as well, because obviously Borussia Dortmund are out replacements. Chelsea have got a few players, futures that are uncertain at the club. They've got Eden Hazard, who hasn't committed his future yet. They've got Callum Hudson, who could be set to leave because potentially he's not getting the game time at Chelsea. It looks like Morata, obviously he's on his way out of Chelsea as well. So potentially, yeah, he could be on his way out of Chelsea as well. It looks likely Morata is on his way out of Chelsea. But saying about Pulisic, we know that Arsenal had a £35 million bid turned down for him. Liverpool also have been interested in him as well. Klopp's keen on reuniting him with the player, as we all know, because Klopp, has a good relationship with the player. Klopp used to work with him, but he's progressing up the ranks very, very well. Christian Pulisic, he's been in the senior squad with Dortmund since 2016, and I think Chelsea are going to potentially, get a deal over the line, as we all know. So reportedly looks like Chelsea are going to confirm the sign of him next summer. This is according to the German press, as I currently said, but as I said, I think Alvaro Morata's going. Chelsea, as we all know, have also identified Gonzalo Higuain as a replacement for Morata, because I think Morata is going to be leaving, because I think he's actually did say he's keen on the move to AC Milan, is Alvaro Morata, because Morata's felt unsettled at Chelsea. Chelsea paid £60 million and he hasn't really established himself since he's come to the Premier League. He was okay in the 2017-18 season, but as we all know, that Sarri has been mainly going with Eden Hazard up front on his own recently. So he hasn't been playing Giroud. He hasn't been obviously playing Morata. As we all know, Morata is out of favour now at Chelsea. He spent most of his playing career with Real Madrid, when he was younger in his prime. As we all know, he had 2 good years with Juventus as well. But potentially he hasn't really done it. Chelsea, and he could be moving out. And Chelsea have identified Gonzalo Higuain as an actual potential replacement. But as I said, Gonzalo Higuain is at AC Milan on loan, and AC Milan to pay a fee of £16-17 million to get him on loan, as we all know. But Chelsea have been in discussions with AC Milan and Juventus regarding this, as I said. And reportedly, the AC Milan director has actually confirmed that Chelsea have not made an initial approach or made any kind of offer yet for Gonzalo Higuain, but they've been potentially interested in him. There's been talks of Gonzalo Higuain and Morata as a potential loan exchange swap deal, as we all know, with the option to permanently buy. But as I said, Gonzalo Higuain, Sarri's worked for him in the past. Sarri knows about the player, and Sarri's keen on reuniting with the player. And I think Gonzalo Higuain is interested in coming to the Premier League. He is 31 years of age, but I think he'd develop very very well at Chelsea. He'd score goals with Chelsea because he's grown and developed very very well, and he's proven to people if it goal scoring in the past, with the teams he's been at. Napoli he had three good years there. He scored 36 goals. He had 6 good years with Real Madrid when he was a lot younger in his prime. Scored 106 goals in 190 appearances. He was also very, very good at Juventus as well. He was the key player that got them to the 2017 Champions League final. Won the domestic double in his first 2 seasons as well, of course, with Juventus, did the player. So, yeah, very, very good player. Indeed, got a lot of tenacity about his play, can lead the lines very, very well. And I think he'd complement Chelsea's team very, very well. If you put him alongside Hazard, that would look like very, very good from Chelsea's perspective. As I said, but Juventus had to fork out about 78 odd million pounds to get him from Napoli, as we all know. And he's South American, he's a player, but now obviously he's on loan at AC Milan. But there has been a lot of talks about that going on in the press. There's also been a few teams interested in Tanguy Ndembe as well. He's in his prime. He is young. He is 22 years of age. He's Tanguy Ndombele. He's a Lyon midfield. I think I've mentioned him before to you on my couple of my live videos. Tanguy Ndombele is a Lyon player. He's a midfield. He's very very competitive. He's very tenacious. And he's a midfielder I would actually like at Manchester United. His style of play looks very, very good. He's got physical attributes. Reportedly, Manchester City have reportedly just put a £45 million bid in for the player. Reportedly, Lyon have instantly turned this down because Lyon reportedly rate him at around the 75 £80 million player. That's what the demand they want for him. Because City, obviously looking for a replacement reportedly for Fernandinho. Reportedly Chelsea have expressed interest in Tanguy Ndombele. Man United have expressed their interest. Tottenham have been interested. I think Everton have been interested in him as well. But he is a Lyon player. Lyon actually permanently signed him for £7.2 million. He is only young, so he still needs to grow and develop more and flourish and, get better. But his performances for Lyon have reportedly been very, very good because, he's obviously been a full France international this year he's been a full France international because he made his debut for the senior team France, I think, in 2018. I think it was this year, but I can't remember what month it was, to be quite honest with you. But now he's a permanent Lyon player, reportedly. But reportedly there's been a few teams interested in him as well. But reportedly Lyon want around, I think, 75, 80 million pounds for the player, reportedly. But as I give you the news yesterday about PSG's Adrien Rabiot, the current central midfielder, there's been no sign of him signing a new contract with Paris Saint-Germain, as we all currently know. I think he's going to leave Paris Saint-Germain, to be quite honest, because Paris Saint-Germain are keen on cashing in on him in the January window. Barcelona have actually, as I said to you, denied an illegal approach of making a move for Adrien Rabiot. But reportedly, Barcelona have denied reaching an agreement because allegedly, it did say Barcelona have reached an agreement, to actually get Adrien Rabiot. But is that a favourite Paris Saint-Germain? The Paris Saint-Germain directors actually confirmed he will no longer be playing unless he signs a new deal with the club. He's refused to sign a new deal with the club. There's been no sign of him signing a new deal, Adrien Rabiot. And I think he's going to leave Paris Saint-Germain. He is a good central midfielder. Arsenal reportedly been interested in him. Chelsea reportedly been interested in him. Liverpool could re-show their interest, it's said as well, but reportedly Barcelona are still interested in Adrien Rabiot. But as I said, he's won 16 major honours with Paris Saint-Germain. He's been at Paris Saint-Germain the majority of his career, as we all currently know. He actually risen up the ranks of Paris Saint-Germain and began his career with them, as we all know. I think he went on loan somewhere as well. But yeah, he's won 16 honours with them. He's won, including 4 Liga 1s and a treble as well in 2015-16. He's been a full France international since 2016 as well. He represented France. He earned 53 caps as a youngster with France as well. Did Adrien Rabiot, but there's been no sign of him signing new contracts. He does come to an end of his deal next summer, and potentially he got barred from the PSG changing room. As well did Adrien Rabiot, and I think he's made about 148 appearances for Paris Saint-Germain as well. But there's been a few teams interested in him as well because he actually he looks set to leave Paris Saint-Germain, as we all currently know. But But yeah, on the next video, we'll be giving you more updates on some more transfer rumours that are going on as well. But this is the Newcastle Man United preview. As I said, we look very, very good now. We look very, very sharp, and I can't wait to see how we perform in these big games. I can't wait for the PSG game to come in February. I think we've always got a chance now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, the way the team playing. When we come up against the likes of Liverpool at home, when we come up against Chelsea at home and stuff like that. I just can't wait to see how we perform against them teams. It's going to be interesting. That's when the tests do come, because you can say in reality we haven't played nobody yet. Bournemouth for poor, Cardiff for poor, and Huddersfield for poor. So there would have been games where we would have been expected to win anywhere, even if we just still had Mourinho. But you can tell that it's the manner that we're winning the games in. You know, you can just tell there's a much change in the team now. The team playing with confidence, we're playing with heart. We're getting bodies in decent positions, and it's good to see fullbacks getting high up the pitch as well. But I did say there's still areas that need addressing in the Man United squad. For me, Pogba looks good in the number 10. Rashford for me is a number 9. You know, Martial looks good on the left-hand side, as we all currently know. I know you can put Wata in the number 10. You can put him in the middle. I think Mata does look better in the middle than he does on the right. But I think Pogba, to quite honestly, shoots at number 10. You know, because obviously he was playing in that number 10 yesterday against Bournemouth. But potentially these improvements still needed in the squad, to be quite honest. I think we still need a central defensive midfielder. Maybe we still may need a central defender. Bailly's now suspended, of course, that was gutting to see. It was a high challenge. Maybe you're right back. I'd definitely bring Dalot in for Ashley Young, because Dalot's obviously young. He needs to get more game time under his belt to grow and develop and get better and flourish under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I said, I thought Young played well yesterday. Young's 33 now, as we all currently know. But Valencia reportedly still remains the captain. You know, he's been struggling with consistency this season. He hasn't been in form because he was injured early on this season, you know, with a mouth injury, as we all know. And he's had problems this season, but he does keeps the captain's armband, as we all know. And also, too, you know, I hope that David De Gea and Martial sign new long-term deals at the club. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say he wants them to sign new deals at the club. He wants them. He's urging them to do this, because I think Martial will now. I know reportedly his representative had said he was actually pessimistic about Martial signing a new long-term contract. Reportedly he wasn't too confident he was going to sign a new long-term contract. And last summer, you know, actually his current representative said that Martial actually wanted to leave the club because there was a few teams interested in him as well. But he's a great player. You know, good young talent, good in the air, and he's really fast on the ball, and he's very influential. He's just like Rashford, the two good young age talents, as we all know. Martial's grown and developed very well, and he's been great this season for us. So too is Rashford. You know, they've got great potential, as we all know. But as I said, yeah, Man United will try and tie Martial down to a new contract. The previous one got turned down, so we'll see what happens. You know, David De Gea as well. I hope we can somewhere along the line get him a new long-term contract as well. Well, we did activate a 12-month contract extension on Martial's contract and David De Gea's current contract. So they are here until the summer of 2020, as we all know, because we had the option to extend their contract by a further 12 months, and we have done that on Martial's contract and David De Gea's contract as well. But I think David De Gea will sign a new long-term deal at the club. You know, he's made over 300 appearances at Manchester United in all competitions. He's won everything here, of course, apart from the Champions League. And, you know, I think he's grown and developed very well, David De Gea. I think he will stay at the club. I think he's happy to stay at Manchester United. He's David De Gea. But as I said, as yet, there's been no sign of him signing a new deal, a new long-term deal. But I think Solskjaer has said he wants them to sign a new long-term deal. He's won the club's player of the year 4 out of 5 seasons. 4 out of 5 years. You know, he's won some Matt Busby Player of the Year. You know, De Gea, you know, quite a few times as well. And he's been here a good 7, 8 years now as David De Gea. As we all know, we got him for 16, 17 million pounds from Atletico Madrid, as we all know. He won the Europa League and the Super Cup during his time for Atletico Madrid. And he actually began his career at just the age of 13. So, you know, he has grown and developed very well indeed, De Gea. But as I said, you know, he was on the verge of joining Real Madrid in 2015, but it didn't happen. And we know there's been rumours going on about him being linked to Juventus. Well, we heard that he was linked to Juventus. We heard that he also was linked to Paris Saint-Germain as well. But obviously now we've recommended a change, especially, you know, I think David De Gea is happy to stay. And he was mentioning before that he wants the team to be up there challenging for major honours because he wants to be a winner. But we are going to do this under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I'm fully convinced that we are going to do it under Solskjaer. As I said, and the team just looks totally different to as it looked under Mourinho because the team weren't playing under Mourinho, wasn't scoring enough goals. Especially in big games, Mourinho used to park the bus a lot. And he just didn't have a clue at the club, to quite honest with you. So he was the problem. This is why we was playing bad. Jose Mourinho was the problem, as we all know. But now the fans are happy. Positivity is back at the club, as we all know. And it's very, very good to see. Would you say that's a title winning team? I wouldn't say it's a title winning team, but I think it's definitely a good enough team to potentially get us in the top 4 or the top 3. But I still think we maybe need a couple of more signings, as we all know. As I said. But as I said, going into the Newcastle game, it's still saying that McTominay's injured. Bay's obviously suspended now, obviously, which was a shame to see, Bay getting suspended. I'm surprised Pogba didn't get a hat-trick against Bournemouth yesterday. That would have been great, for him to get his first Manchester United hat-trick, as we all know. But he's on another level. He's definitely on another level. He's Paul Pogba, and he could have quite easily got an hat-trick yesterday. He hit the post in the second half. That was the chance where he actually could have got the hat-trick, Paul Pogba. But as I said, I think Wilfred and Delort coming to the team against Newcastle. But as I was saying, I think it's saying Rojo's still injured, Smalling's injured until mid-January. Bay's obviously suspended now, so he'll probably put Jones and Lindelof at centre back, unless Rojo does, recover from his injury. I do not know how long his injury's for. Sanchez is definitely set to return, so he's going to get a chance to prove himself under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Is Alexis Sanchez as well, and I hope he does very, very well. He struggled to make an impact so far. He's on £500,000 a week, and he has got pace, as Sanchez. He has got pace. He can create and he can score goals because he did prove it at Arsenal, as we all know. But yeah, the Newcastle Man U game, last time we lost to Newcastle, back in February. We haven't lost back-to-back league home games against them though. Well, we haven't lost back-to-back. No, Newcastle beat us at home in February, but they haven't beaten us back-to-back home league games since 1987. We've only lost one of our last 8 games against Newcastle anyway. So we do have a good record against them, as we all know. Potentially Newcastle is sitting 15th, so they are a poor team. They've lost 7 of the 10 home league games this season of Newcastle, and potentially, but Rafael Benitez has won each of his last 4 games with English clubs against Manchester United. As I said, that was twice for Liverpool, 1 to Chelsea, and with Newcastle back in February, as we all know. So he has won his last 4 home games against Manchester United as an English club manager, as we all currently know. But yeah, it's going to be definitely a Man United win. We're playing in the right vein. We're growing and developing. We're scoring goals. Players are giving it 100% now each game, as we all know. And they're working hard together. They're looking energetic, looking organised, getting players in decent positions. I think the movement on the width is looking very, very good as well. We're looking very, very precise on the ball, as we all know. We're confident. We've got a lot of tenacity about us players. Well, it's exciting football to watch, as we all currently know. It's very, very exciting to watch. We're looking better in the attacking third of the pitch. We're creating chances as well, which is good to see, and very, very good to see, as I currently said. So it'll be interesting to see how he lines up against Newcastle, as we all know. Actually, the last 16 meetings against Newcastle, Man United have won 9. There's Manchester United have won 9. Newcastle, I think, have won 3, have they? And there's been 4 draws. This is in the last 16 meetings between Manchester United and Newcastle. So Man U have won 9. Newcastle have won 3, and there has been 4 draws. So potentially, yeah. So anyway, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. We'll be back soon with some more transfer rumors to update you of what's going on in the press. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again on my next video. Bye.